stadium. Like, that's crazy.
If Tyson dies, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, if you have something like that, if you have, if
that'd
this
be the end of the
right,
Yeah, that'd be the end of that experiment.
Let's imagine it in a different way, right? Let's not imagine that Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul. Let's imagine Mike Tyson is fighting some young, like really powerful knockout artist who's a contender.
How do you call it a professional fight if the rules you're using are not professional rules? I just
maybe they're in the non-binary category, given that it's 8 2-minute rounds. I'm sure the women will be happy to see someone stepping down to the shorter rounds.
Yeah, I mean,
That's crazy if Tyson dies, right? Oh my God, yeah. See, if you have something like that, if this, that be the end of the right experiment. Let's imagine it in a different way, right? Let's not imagine that Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul. Let's imagine Mike Tyson is fighting some young, like really powerful knockout artist who's a contender. How do you call it a professional fight? If the rules you're using are not professional rules, maybe they're in the non-binary category, given that it's 8 2-minute rounds. I'm sure the women will be happy to see someone stepping down to the shorter rounds. See, boxing pros have broken down the upcoming Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Lennox Lewis expressed his anticipation at witnessing his old adversaries come back to the ring, despite the plethora of cautions regarding Tyson's return to the sweet science. Lewis remains intrigued by the prospect. Lewis and a lot of other people, though, believe Tyson will be the one raising his arm at the conclusion of the fight. In an earlier interview with The Guardian, the British national stated that Paul is the sole reason for concern when it comes to risk. Lewis said, "I'm concerned for Jake Paul. Tyson still knows how to punch, as you can see when he's hitting a bag." Lewis mentioned that if Jake Paul gets hit by one of Tyson's punches, he will definitely feel it. He noted that Paul likely doesn't want to get hit, emphasizing that Tyson moves forward and knows how to cut off the ring. Questioning the strength of Paul's defense, he added, "I saw Mike a couple of weeks ago, and he looked good. He was walking around without a shirt and showing off his body, so he's getting ready. I'm looking forward to it, because you've got to look at these guys as entertainers. The public love them and want to see them in action." British boxing icon Carl Froch, a former unified super middleweight champion, has thrown his support behind Tyson as well. Fr, renowned for his vocal challenges to Paul, remains skeptical about the ex-YouTuber's prowess inside the ropes. Froch told Lord Ping, "I'm not worried about Mike Tyson. Jake Paul cannot fight. None of his knockouts are legitimate. His knockouts were against opponents who didn't know what they were doing." Furch added, "He's ___ useless. His technique, style, balance, offense, defense, the way he sets up his punches. He cannot fight. Mike is going to be absolutely fine." Adding to the discourse, the esteemed pugilist and 5-division champion Sugar Ray Leonard has weighed in on the forthcoming bout. He found himself in the spotlight as a Fight Hype reporter delved into his insights on the upcoming colossal bout with the grace of a former undisputed welterweight champion. He succinctly encapsulated his views on the impending clash in mere 2 lines. The reporter prodded Leonard about Tyson's fight and emphasizing the age difference while they were having a conversation on local issues. To this, the 68-year-old boxer first said, "Put it this way, a lot of people are going to watch that fight, okay?" Adding, "I'm one of them." In the realm of boxing lore, amidst the chatter and anticipation, a universal truth persists: the masses inevitably gravitate towards the spectacle of live combat, a sentiment echoed by one revered figure among them. Yet when pressed for wisdom to impart upon the fabled fattest man on the planet, Leonard stood poised with a response primed for the moment. "He doesn't need advice." Vice Right remarked the renowned fighter. Sugar Ray is not incorrect in this instance. During his 2-decade career, the baddest man on the planet has faced numerous dangerous opponents. Even the youngest heavyweight champion, Roy Jones Jr., acknowledged that he was as aggressive as ever when he made his comeback in 2020. Ever since, Paul hinted at the heightened gravity of the situation, emphasizing how the outcome of their clash would reverberate through their respective legacies. The tension was palpable during their May 16th press conference, a stark departure from the initial calmness signaling a shift towards animosity. The combat sports community is divided about who will win the Paul vs. Tyson fight. While Paul is far less experienced than Tyson, he is still in his prime age. Tyson is undoubtedly one of the best fighters of all time. But he is decades distant from his peak performance as the much-anticipated event draws near. TMZ caught up with Paul to get his thoughts. They inquired whether he had any reservations about facing an opponent who was just a few years shy of being considered a senior citizen. Paul said absolutely not. Explain, if Tyson gets a shot to knock him out, he'll do the exact same. In an embarrassing fashion, he added, so I have to reciprocate that same energy. But Mike Tyson is a killer. He's ruthless. He's the most vicious champion ever, so I have to channel that Mike Tyson energy to finish him. And the legend must fall. Regarding the fight scale, Paul stated that he believes AT&T Stadium would be packed to capacity and that Netflix might draw hundreds of millions of viewers. The former unchallenged world champion in the cruiserweight and heavyweight classes, Evander Holyfield, recently offered his thoughts on the match. Holyfield opened the discussion by delving into the stylistic dimensions of the potential match, taking into account Tyson's seasoned experience juxtaposed with Paul's youthful vigor. In this hypothetical scenario, Tyson, at 58, contrasts with Paul, a burgeoning sensation in both YouTube and boxing circles. Age 27, Holyfield underscored the pivotal role confidence plays in boxing and pondered how the interplay of tactics and mindset could alter the dynamics of the bout. What can happen? Yeah, because it's with the confidence the other guy. I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have and all this, but he going to be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning going to be great. But he could try to stay back from Mike. He going to get caught. He emphasized the importance of maintaining the right distance while facing Tyson, citing Tyson's impressive speed and knack for exploiting opponents who keep their distance. Holyfield pointed out that if Paul stuck close to Tyson, his odds of victory would rise since Tyson heavily relies on generating power from his lower body. Nevertheless, lingering too far away would leave Paul vulnerable to Tyson's devastating counterattacks. Holyfield declined to offer a firm forecast, highlighting that the result hinges on Paul's performance. He cast doubt on Paul's capacity to withstand and a blow from someone as potent as Tyson, whose strength remains imposing despite his age. Holyfield underscored the unpredictable nature of boxing and the significance of having faith in one's capability to emerge victorious. Drawing upon his own journey as a fighter, you like a snake, he pop out on you, he get there too quick. But if you charge him, you're going to smother everything, because everything he push off his legs, so he too close like this. But if you give him wrong, man, everybody get knocked out going backwards like this. You get in the room, you're going to be messed up. Do you see Mike winning or do you see Jake winning? I don't know. It's all depending on how Jake fight. I tell you what, if it see you, somebody going to tell him. It's too crazy to be trying to get close to the guy to stay like that. He going Mike like he get and he curve up like this and snap out and get you. Holyfield offered a nuanced take on the potential ramifications of Tyson's loss in the realm of boxing. While paying homage to Tyson's iconic status and his substantial influence on the sport, Holyfield stressed that defeat shouldn't eclipse Tyson's remarkable legacy. He emphasized the enduring power and resilience of Tyson's punches, underscoring the critical role of strategy and conditioning in overcoming formidable adversaries. You don't get in these things if you don't believe you can win on that's my ain't never fault when I ain't think I can win every time I ever got in a ring. I thought I was going to win, I'm like, I'm going to give my all. I'm like, yeah, so the whole big thing is that's the whole process. A banner true fighter Holyfield also addressed the financial imbalances in boxing, citing Paul's achievements as evidence of the significant earnings potential for non-professional boxers in contrast to their professional counterparts. He proposed that Paul's success might prompt a reassessment of compensation models within the sport, advocating for more equitable pay for professional boxers. Reflecting on his voyage through the realm of boxing, Holyfield offered intimate anecdotes and wisdom regarding his approach to the sport, grounded in his unwavering Christian faith and rigorous training routine. Holyfield underscored the significance of integrity, diligence, and resilience in attaining triumph within the boxing arena. It's a thing where that both fighters make a lot of money, but I think J. Paul, that kind of show everybody else and in boxing that, hey, if he can make all that much money, why we ain't making all this much money? Not because the factor of the matter, it's because it's different. He and a professional is a whole different line of boxing. And it just show you that the boxing that they make all the money. Ultimately, Holyfield's assessment offered an in-depth exploration of the hypothetical Tyson versus Paul showdown, leveraging his extensive expertise and profound grasp of boxing intricacies. His perspectives illuminated the multifaceted nature of the sport and the significant ramifications of top-tier matchups in the boxing realm. Conversely, Deontay